Hey Marty, Ted Johnson here with Marketing for Guides. I want to thank you for reaching out to me and letting us prepare a analysis for you. You know, sometimes it's easier to do things when you have video to explain it, and so based on the email thread that we had between the two of us, I thought, well, instead of putting something down in written context, I'd show you a quick video. What is it? A picture says 1,000 words. Well, hopefully we'll get a couple thousand or more as I go on through this. But anytime that we do an analysis of a website, we don't necessarily look at the website first. We look at the dashboard or the analytics behind the website. And the thing that we're most interested in when we first look at analytics is what is the site ranking for in regards to search terms. And the reason that we do that is we want to know what people are typing into Google or other search engines to not necessarily find you directly, because if they know who you are, they're probably just going to go right to your site, but they're searching for somebody that offers a service like yours. And so we've got this cool little tool where we type in your website and it gives us an idea of the keywords that you're ranking for. Now, some of the keywords are relevant and others are not, and I'll explain this as I go through. For some odd reason, your site's number one key phrase that it ranks for is Alaska Range Map. Now, I'm sure that you've used that terminology somewhere within the site, but Google has grabbed hold of that and they're thinking that's extremely important. Now, they're ranking you in the number 11th position, which is on the second page of Google, but there are 390 people a month that type that in. And you think, gosh, I'd like to be on the first page of that, but then you think a little bit about what the keyword is. And do all people that type in Alaska Range Map, are they all looking for a Alaska fly fishing float trip? Well, probably not. Probably a very small percentage of that 390. So even though there's a lot of volume there, the relevancy isn't there to necessarily help you get more people on your raft trips. So we look at the second keyword down there, which is Alaska float fishing trips. Now, I would venture to say anybody that types Alaska float fishing trips into a search engine is probably looking for somebody like you. And there are 90 people, see the 90 over there under volume, 90 people per month that type that in. And congratulations, you're in the number 2 position on the first page. And that up arrow means that you improved there. You were in number 3 position in the month of December. So you've got 90 sets of eyeballs that are seeing your listing on Google, not necessarily going to your site because that is a different statistic, but there's 90 people that see your listing in the Google search page, and they have the option of visiting your site or not. And you'll get anywhere from 10 to 20% of those people that will click on that, and then a small portion of that will be in contact with you. The next one, Alaska fly fishing float trips. Well, that's even more refined. I would imagine anybody that types that in is looking for you. And congratulations, you're in the number 1 position, as you should be. But the volume is really low. There's only 10 people per month that type that into Google. And so if you get 10 sets of eyeballs and 20% of the people will visit the site, then you get 2 people that are visiting the site each and every month. And, you know, the conversion on that probably isn't real high. And so does it generate some business for you? It probably does over the years, but there isn't a whole lot of volume. Now, I can go through all of these keywords, and there's 100 of them, I think, that we have listed. But as we go through, the search terms that I'm seeing, fly fishing Alaska, gosh, if I were you, I'd love to be in a good position there, but you're on the 26th position. You're on the 3rd page, so you're really not being seen. Less than 3% of people will go off of the first page on a search, and very, very few will even make it to the 3rd page. And so out of those 720 visitors, you're probably not getting anybody really visiting or seeing you at all. But as we go through these keywords, there's Anchorage fishing trips. That could be appropriate, I guess. but you're on the 10th page in the 90th position. Alaska river trips, you're in the 34th position. That's 4th page. If I come down here, fishing in Fairbanks, Alaska, I know that you're more southwest of that, but there are 210 people that type that in every month. I'd love to have their eyeballs on your site as another choice to what they're looking for, because maybe they don't quite understand the types of fishing that go on in Fairbanks, and I go on. From that point on, the red arrows mean that your site, for whatever reason, over the last month is really not performing well, and it's dropping in rankings. And so when it comes to the relevancy, if it comes to the results that you're getting off of the website on these organic searches, you're not showing up very well. And that needs to be improved in regards to how the website is set up. That's what will drive these figures, and how it's organized and that sort of thing. So I'm going to jump on over to your website, and I'm going to go to your homepage. And there is your homepage. It has a really nice photo on the front. It has a good title, which is Wilderness Alaska Fly Fishing Float Trips. A little long. It's probably too long in Google's eyes for the main title on a page. It's not hurting you, but it's not helping you either. And then if we scroll on down through, you've got an About Us with a beautiful red side there, and then a salmon and a little bit more information. And then we get down to a little about you, and then that's the end of the home page. Well, in regards to best practices, Google has set requirements in 2019 that websites with less than 1,200 words on the home page aren't ranked as high as those that do have 1,200 words or more. And my guess, just eyeballing this, is you probably have 500 words on your homepage. So not nearly enough to appease Google, but enough to get some rankings on it and that sort of thing. But in regards to other statistics that I can quote based on my own clients' websites, and I've got over 100 of them, close to 150 now, that are in the sports fishing industry, there are less than 1 in 5 people that will come to a website and go off on any of the sub pages at all. And I'll bet your analytics is in line with that, because people are visiting on mobile devices. They're not giving us as much time. They're looking for enough information to make a decision whether to contact you or not directly off of that homepage, and they're not giving us a whole lot of time to do that. And so you're not, in the way the site has been set up, you're not giving these visitors exactly what enough information so that they would contact you. And my guess, again, if we looked at the true analytics of the site, we'd see a lot of bounces. People will come to the site, they'll scroll around for a little bit, and then within 10-15 seconds they're off looking at something else, because they're not given enough information on this homepage, and they're not really willing to search to find the information on the subsequent pages. If I look at some of the other pages, for instance, your trips and rates, again, you have a nice photo that comes up. One of the things that I preach when I'm doing websites and rebuilds and facelifts on sites is that we want to make sure that we either get somebody or a fisherman with a great big smile and a great big fish, or action in the picture. And in this case, you've got this guy leaning into this pole. I don't know, maybe he's hooked onto a log, but my guess he's plowed into a silver, and he's just giving it all he's got, and he's got a great big smile on his face. That makes me want to go on the float trip with you. I mean, that's what these pictures should depict, and you've done a really good job of that. We come down here, and then we talk about the rivers by region, and then you have these other buttons, details on the rivers and rates. If I click on one of those, I'm going to another page, and then it gives me more details about that river. And somewhere, yeah, here we go. Now I've got the rates down there. It looks like what this is called is an anchor page. It has all the different rates that you have, and you're using it as a single entity for displaying all of your rates. But it's 3 clicks underneath the home page. Each time that you have somebody click, you're going to lose almost 40% of them. They'll leave off the page off that first click off of what they see if they don't see everything that they want. And so through attrition, the way your site is set up, you're losing people through all of these clicks and that sort of thing. And so if you were my client, I'd be sitting down with you going, how do we make this more palatable? The people that are coming and visiting very quickly, looking at only the home site, having the subsequent pages really there to appease Google, to get better Google rankings and have them optimized for those keywords that we were talking about. And so there's really 2 masters here. You've got Google that has their best practices on the way they want their website, the people to have their websites set up so that they can rank them better, but that doesn't necessarily match up with people's viewing experiences, in particular to guides and outfitters sites, where you're really only getting their attention for a short period of time, and they're looking for information enough to contact you off of what they see on that first page. But your site's very well laid out. It's very organized. The titling of the information is okay. There's lots of titles that don't refer back to a geographics or to the state of Alaska, so you're losing I call it Google juice when you do it that way. But just putting more emphasis on the way that the index, or actually the outline of the site, is been done would help you dramatically. I'm going to show you a site that we just got done doing, and we just launched it on the web just in the last couple days. I'm going to do a reload on the site here, and I'll show you what I mean by putting information on the site. Here we've got these 2 guys with great big smiles, great big old walleye. We list the types of fish that people want to fish for. This guy's on Lake Erie, and we put the phone number directly below in great big font below that below that picture, because that picture may be enough to sell the person enough that they'll want to contact you. They go, that could be me. I want to call this guy. I don't care about the rest of the information. And you get those people that'll make those snap decisions. And so we're giving them a real quick way, in this case, to get a hold of them. So then he runs a charter boat, and the charter boats they talk a lot about, and what's on the charter boat, is it going to be a comfortable ride and that sort of thing. So in this case, there's a lot of good information about his charter boat there. We put in then a calendar of when different fish are running in Lake Erie and when's the best time to catch them. So if I've got somebody that's coming to the site, the first thing they're thinking about is, well, is this something that is appealing to me? Well, yeah, they got this great big old walleye, and here's a couple of guys that are smiling. They run a really nice boat with all the amenities on it, and now I know I'm going to be in the Cleveland area, let's say in the month of July, so I can fish now for walleye and steelhead. And I think what you're seeing is that we're going through this mental checklist of people that have hit the site, and they're going, is this for me? And we're addressing these questions. Right below that, we have pictures of different types of fish, and we have the rates. And this is just, we have a bigger rates page on here, but it's just a snippet or a Reader's Digest version, I guess that dates me, doesn't it, of what's in that rates page. So now I know that they fish for what I want to fish for. I've got a boat that I'd love to be on. There's the calendar where I'm going to be, and here's how much it's going to cost. I pretty much clicked off almost anything that people would want to find out about for them to contact me. I come down here, I have, we're still laying in sponsors and stuff. I've got a Google map in here with identifiers. I put in weather widgets because a lot of people want to know, well, what's the weather like in Dillingham? Or what is the weather like in King Salmon? Or in this case, it's Cleveland and other places in Ohio. And as you'll notice here, I'm going to click on the Cleveland wind button on that widget, and now it changes that widget and it shows me the current wind conditions. God, it looks like it's cold there, man. Holy smokes. Anyway, this is a kind of a weather station that people can go and play with. Now, here's why I'm doing this, Marty, is that Google will reward me if my average visitor spends more than 60 seconds on my homepage. And so if I can put enough, wouldn't necessarily call them distractions, but attractions to people that they want to explore a little bit, I'm trying to get them to stay for more than 60 seconds because that's going to improve the overall rankings of my website. I've got scrolling testimonials. If I really, if I get to this point and I'm still reading as a visitor, hey, here's people that like to go fishing with Captain Joe. And then I have a footer down here with all the appropriate social media links, buy a license, book a trip, and that sort of thing. So again, that's how we tend to lay out sites. It's not cookie cutter by any means. Everything is customized on how we lay it out. It depends on the type of fishing that people do and that sort of thing, the type of clientele that they have. In your case, you have a more formalized site because of the types of people that you address. We discussed that in our emails that the fly fishermen are, I think, in many cases, are more refined. That they want a little more refined look, and so we do that on those types of sites. But it has the same flavor to it. We're trying to answer all of the different questions for people as they come to the site. So anyway, that was a mouthful. I appreciate the chance to show you that and give you a little bit of insight of what, at least my analysis of where your site is and maybe some ideas on how it can be improved. You mentioned in one of your emails, so I'll take the liberty to address it, that you were interested in hearing more about what we can do for you. All of our work that we do is customized to the client or for the client. There is we do a lot of different things, and at a 50,000 foot view, I can say I can help you with that site. I can get it much better ratings, rankings for it, and that sort of thing, with just a little bit of work, and then some other behind the scenes type stuff that we could do, and you would be more competitive with where that site is, and it would generate more activity and more contacts coming in. Love to talk with you about it. If you like what I do and you want to move forward with something like that, that'd be great. If not, that's okay too. We've made another friend in the industry, and that never hurts anything. So anyway, hope you have a great day. I'm looking forward to talking with you.